What if everybody's rating in WWE 2K23 was completely reversed? Would the people that stay on top now just fall to the bottom and the ones at the bottom go to the top? Let's find out. So here we are in the universe mode, and just like how you heard in the opening, I literally went through every single wrestler and flipped their overall completely. An example of this is AJ Styles, who is an 89 overall in the default game, but when you flip that around, he turns into a 98 overall, a big winner. Some of the other big winners in this, I guess you could call it a big change, would be Apollo Crews, who went from a 79 to a 97 overall. Cameron Grimes, same thing, 79 to 97 overall. Candice LeRae went from a 78 to an 87. Carmella went from a 79 overall to a 97. There's so many of these. There's so many cases of this, like Chad Gable, who stay completely the same as well because he's a 77. You have people like Cruz del Toro, who go from a 79 to a 97 overall. But you also have people like Charlotte Flair, who go from a 94 to a 49. There's definitely a lot of losers in this situation, like Bailey, who goes from a 91 to a 30 overall. Now the reason this is the case is because 30 overall is literally the lowest a wrestler can go, or else I would have made her a 19 overall, but I can't do that. So in cases like that, I just make them the lowest overall they can possibly be. Regardless, let's jump into the Sims. Let's see how things change around here, because I know that the current champions are probably not going to be the current champions for a while. So we're just going to have to see, I guess. We're going to make it to WWE WrestleMania Backlash. Probably nothing crazy right now. We got Tommaso Ciampa versus The Miz, Dragon Lee versus Austin Theory, Charlotte Flair versus Io Sky, Bayley versus Bianca Belair, The Judgment Day versus the Creed Brothers, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, JD McDonough versus Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles, and then Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. This World Heavyweight Championship match is interesting because, as far as I know, JD McDonough was one of the big winners in this change. Yeah, he went from a 79 to a 97. And then on the other hand, you have Seth Rollins, who's supposed to be a 39 overall because he's a 93, but some universe mode things made him a 37 overall. Point being is that he's a big loser in this freaking change of pace for these overalls. So this is going to be a real test to see how big the overall change actually is. We're about to see. And Seth Rollins still wins as a 37 overall versus a 97 overall JD McDonough. Bro, you should just retire, dude. Like, pack it up. Rhea Ripley retains her title. As far as I know, that's pretty much the same thing. So nothing super crazy changes so far. I'm sure that eventually we're going to see some very interesting things happening. Checking out some of the rivalries, Miz, Ricochet, Zoe Stark, Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins, the Creed Brothers of Alpha Academy. Seems pretty standard stuff. Pretty Deadly versus the Judgment Day is kind of weird. Bobby Lashley versus Roman, LWO versus... What is that? I'm not even gonna question it, but you know, it is what it is. Anyways, let's go to Hell in a Cell, see if there's any big changes for this pay-per-view. So Roman Lashley is in a title match. Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins, Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark, Creed Brothers versus Alpha Academy again, and then we got Braun Strowman versus Gunther. Now Braun Strowman is also another really big winner in this situation, because he goes from an 89 to a 90 overall Braun Strowman, while Gunther is also a big winner at 98 overall. So this is gonna be a very big clash of the titans over here. Seth Rollins retains against Jey Uso, but I think Jey Uso also took a big hit this patch, so it's the same thing. Rhea Ripley retains. The Creed Brothers are the new Raw Tag Team Champions, and Gunther retains the IC Championship, another one for the greatest IC champion of all time, Gunther. So far in the championship changes, nothing too crazy. The Creed Brothers are the Raw Tag Team Champions. Over on the SmackDown side, everything is still the same as it should be. We got Logan Paul, Austin Theory, AJ Bobby Lashley, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Karrion Kross, and Isla Dawn versus Asuka and Sheamus. Man, universe mode stuff. Roman Reigns versus Jimmy Uso. There goes the bloodline. We're gonna go ahead and sim to Money in the Bank. Let's see how much the Money in the Bank ladder match changes, because I'm sure it's gonna change at least a little bit. We got Karrion Kross, Jimmy Uso, Bobby Lashley, Veer Mahan, who Veer Mahan, by the way, is now a 97 overall. He went from a 79 to a 97, by the way. Your Dragon Lee, Sheamus, Cedric Alexander, and Ashante the Adonis. Interesting. We got the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Shayna Baszler, Becky Lynch, Raquel Rodriguez, Ivy Now, Candice LeRae, and a big winner in this one. We also got Rhea Ripley versus Liv for the world or the women's world championship. Imperium versus the Creeds. We got Logan Paul versus Austin Theory. So let's see how this all turns out. Liv Morgan is the new women's world champion, and I believe she also didn't get a crazy thing. She was one of the ones that took a big hit, and Liv Morgan also dropped an overall. She went from an 86 to a 68, so big dubs. While Rhea Ripley definitely took a hit. She's like a 30 overall. The Creed brothers lost the Raw Tag Team Championships, and Imperium are the new Raw Tag Team Champions. Okay, interesting. Becky Lynch wins the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Okay, I was expecting a change there considering that Becky took a massive hit. Logan Paul retained the United States Championship, and then Veer Mahan, the 97 overall god, is your Mr. Money in the Bank. Let's simulate to Monday Night Raw, because usually with these Money in the Bank briefcases, they like to cash it in like right away. It looks like they didn't actually, but Apollo Crews, the god of Monday Night Raw. Oh, never mind. I guess the 97 overall didn't work out too well for him. Becky Lynch is cashing in her women's Money in the Bank contract against Liv Morgan to try to get the women's world championship. Isn't gonna work out for her though, as we have Randy Orton versus CM Punk in the main event, technically the main event of the show. By the way, CM Punk is back, bro. Like, what is life, bro? I never thought that would be a thing. I literally jumped out of my seat and started screaming like a fangirl. It was embarrassing. Anyways, back to business. We got Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch cashing in her contract. Is she successful? No! Liv Morgan still retains and is still the women's world championship. Better luck next time, Becky. We're gonna see what type of changes we see here. We got another rematch between Liv and Rhea, and then JD McDonough versus Seth Rollins is the only title match. Let's see if that high overall is working out for you, JD. It doesn't. You're trash, bro. Seth as a 30-something overall is beating you as a 90-something overall. That's embarrassing. Are you enjoying the video so far? Because if you are, I would really appreciate it if you were to subscribe to the channel and like the video. We recently just hit 10,000 subscribers, and I want to thank you guys for helping me reach that goal. But we're just going to keep it moving. We're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep putting out bangers. And if you want to be a part of the squad, just subscribe to the channel, bro. What are you waiting for? It's free. It takes 2 seconds. Just do it, alright? Also, follow me on Twitter at Kingjon__. Just have to plug that in there real quick. I'm sorry. Anyways, let's get back to the video. We got Io versus Xia Li. I mean, both of their overalls got destroyed, so it's gonna be like the worst match of all time in this world. Seth versus Randy, JD McDonough versus Shinsuke, and then Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark is main eventing without a title on the line. That's crazy work. The Brutes retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles, it looks like. Io retains, Seth retains, even though I don't even know how Seth is a 30-something overall and he's still consistently retaining. This man is super Seth right now. Let's go to Extreme Rules and see which championship matches we're gonna get. Honestly, this sim, we haven't gotten a lot of championship defenses that I was expecting, but you know, it is what it is. Roman Reigns versus Joaquin Wilde. I think Joaquin Wilde doesn't actually took a hit in his overall. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a 96 before because Universe Mode changes it a little bit, but he definitely took a hit. I think he was like a 40-something or 50-something. Regardless, let's see if there's any title changes. Joaquin Wilde dethrones Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns didn't get an overall change, by the way, because he's a 99. You can't flip 99. You get the same thing. So Joaquin Wilde as a freaking terrible overall beats Roman as a 99. Yeah, that's something. That's something for sure. Universe Mode in a nutshell. And Shayna Baszler beats Liv Morgan to become the new women's world champion. I think Shayna, I don't honestly remember how her overall changed. Okay, the 30 overall supremacy over here, man. 30 overall supremacy. Well, that was quite eventful. We got Joaquin Wilde as the as the undisputed universal champion. What a time to be alive. Let's head over to day 1. We're just gonna do the pay-per-views for the rest of the video. There's nothing crazy that seems to be happening in the weekly shows. And by the way, I've been simulating all the weekly shows. Veer has still not used his Money in the Bank contract. This brother has still not used it. No, Io retains her women's championship. Interesting. Jey Uso wins the World Heavyweight Championship. Finally, Super Seth is dethroned. And then Imperium retains their titles. AJ Styles beats Joaquin Wilde, so he should be the undisputed Universal Champion. Because for some reason, the title wasn't on the line. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It just is the way it is. Royal Rumble season coming through, which means we're on the road to WrestleMania. Shotzi is the new women's champion, and I think Shotzi's overall didn't change in this situation. Well, she's an 80 overall. I don't remember what her old overall was, honestly, but Universe Mode changes stuff sometimes. But she is the new women's champion. Congratulations to Shotzi. But now we have to see who actually won the Royal Rumbles. Candice LeRae won the women's Rumble. I mean, that overall buff definitely helped her. Candice LeRae is gonna get a championship shot at Mania, and I can't see who won the men's. Of course, there's always something like this all the time, bro. Always something like this. Let's go ahead and go to Elimination Chamber. There has to be a chamber match for some titles, probably maybe the World Heavyweight Championship, I'm guessing. We got an IC title Elimination Chamber match with Dominic Mysterio, who I think actually got a huge buff. Let me check that one out. Yeah, Dominic Mysterio went from a 78 to an 87, so huge for him. Akira Tozawa, Braun Strowman, as y'all know, is a 98 overall now. R-Truth, the returning R-Truth, and Ricochet. And then we got a Women's World Championship Elimination Chamber with Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, Katana Chance, and Keenan Carter. So let's see how this all pans out. We're gonna check it out. Let's see. We got R-Truth is the new IC champion. The GOAT himself, Truth, defeats and dethrones Gunther of all people. We got Jey Uso retain, bro. Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is the tragedy of this video. This man got a huge buff and he still can't win any championships. Shotzi retains against Bianca. Logan Paul retains against LA Knight. And then Becky Lynch is the new Women's World Champion. And with that, we're finally just gonna go ahead and simulate to WrestleMania. I simulate straight to WrestleMania from Chamber, and Veer doesn't have Money in the Bank anymore. I don't know if it's because we crossed WrestleMania and it just takes it away from him, or he actually tried to use it. Regardless, Joaquin Wilde is still the undisputed Universal Champion, so I mean, I guess he failed to cash in or never cashed in. Veer never came. But even with all the trials and tribulations, it looks like Apollo Crews is actually going to be main eventing WrestleMania. Legado/LWO has split up completely, and now they're fighting for the biggest prize in the company. Oh my god. Cruz del Toro got a huge buff. He's like a 97 or 98 in this change. So let's go ahead and simulate. Candice LeRae isn't able to win the title. Becky Lynch retains. Even with the huge buff and the Royal Rumble win, Candice unfortunately couldn't win it. We got Alpha Academy taking the win. Xia Li taking the win against Io. The Brutes retain the titles. Ricochet takes on Ciampa. We got Solo and Jimmy Uso. Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso winning the tag match. Roman Reigns defeats Bobby Lashley. Johnny Gargano defeats Shinsuke Nakamura. Jey Uso retains against JD McDonough, another L taker. This man got a huge buff and he still couldn't win a freaking championship. Truth retains the IC championship as he should. Joaquin Wilde retains the undisputed Universal Championship against his former partner Cruz del Toro, who's at like a 98. Good job. Bianca Belair defeats Shotzi, so Shotzi didn't put her title on the line, so oh well, she's still the champion. And Apollo Crews, even with all the trials and tribulations, even with all the L's, he takes the win against Seth Rollins in a main event of WrestleMania, so I guess it's worth something. Let's go ahead and check out now the final champions for the sim. Let's see how it changed. So for SmackDown, we got Joaquin Wilde as the undisputed Universal Champion, Logan Paul as the United States Champion, the Brutes as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and then Shotzi as the Women's Champion. We got Jey Uso as the World Heavyweight Champion, R-Truth as the IC Champion, Imperium as the Raw Tag Team Champions, and Becky Lynch as the Women's World Champion. Those are the final champions for the video, which means that we have finally arrived at the end. What did you think of this video? You want to see more videos just like this, because this took a lot of time to switch over the overalls and get them flipped. So if you enjoyed them, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video. This one took a little bit of time to actually set up, so I would have really appreciated some love. And with all that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.